parallel to. So the key thing with this whole test is accepting and identifying things that are parallel to each other and things that are perpendicular to each other. What do we know about graphs or straight lines if they are parallel to each other? They have the same gradient. Okay, so if we know that parallel lines have the same gradient, it means that we have to establish what is the gradient of the equation they've given me. So they've given us y equals 6 minus 3x. Which part of that tells us the gradient, Leila? The minus 3 part. Careful, not the x. It's just the minus 3 part. Oh. So the negative 3 tells us about the gradient. So we know we need to find a line here with a gradient of negative 3. Does this one have a gradient of negative 3? No. Is this? No. How do we know that? It says negative 3. Where? Okay, so it's the number in front of the x. So that's your one that's parallel. Yes? Which of these is a sketch of y equals 5 minus 4x? Again, we've got lots of lines, some uphill sloping, some downhill sloping. We need to be looking at this equation and identifying two things from it. It's in the format of y equals, so we are able to identify two things straight away. The gradient we've already discussed, and what else can we find if we've got it in this format? The gradient and the y-intercept. So we know that the y-intercept is 5. Why do you know that, Emma?
On the y-intercept it says 5.
How do you mean on the y-intercept it says it's 5?
On the graph. Oh, no, it's 5 actually.
Yes, so this value here at the front is just a 5, and so we know that the y-intercept is 5. Amelia, what's my gradient? Negative 4 over 1. So what kind of line is that? Uphill, downhill, steep, not steep, anything? Downhill, steep. So let's look at something that looks like that and cross the y-axis at 5. So does this one cross the y-axis at 5?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a potential. That's probably the easiest thing to look for. Does this one cross the y-axis at 5?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's either A or B. Is it going to be C or D? No, because we've got the wrong number here. So straight away they're out. We've just talked about the fact it's a negative gradient, so which one is it? B. Because it's going downhill. Yes? There's the thought, that's the thought process you need to have when you've got these kinds of questions. 3. A is a point with corners blur. B is that the line has the equation blur. Is line L parallel to it? So, we've just talked about this. We know that parallel lines have the same gradients. So we need to establish if these things have the same gradients. Probably the easiest one to find the gradient of is this line. How can we find the gradient of this line? Can we do it just by looking at it? No. Not immediately by looking at it, but what can we do with that expression actually, Stephen? Oh, I can just say what can we do to that to be able to find it? Look at it and tell us what the gradient is. Not yet, no. Because at the moment this says 3y equals 4 minus 2x. It is divided. What do we have to do to this expression here, Alexis? Why? Good. So actually, you happy with that? At the moment, it's 3y equals, but in order to recognize the gradient and y-intercept, it has to just be y equals. So we've gone from 3y equals 4 minus 2x to y equals 4 over 3 minus 2 over 3x. You're happy? Remember, when we're doing these, separate those two. So rather than just divide everything by 3, do them in 2 halves. We're only interested in the gradient. So it doesn't matter what this number here is. What is the gradient of this line now, Jodie? Okay, so gradient for this one, thank you, is negative 2 over 3. So we're now going to try and find the gradient of the other line. We've been given 2 coordinates. How do we find the gradient when we're given 2 coordinates? Gradient is equal to what over what? Same people answering, are we? Rise over run. So the rise is told about which coordinates, x or y? y, and so the x's are on the bottom. So we're going to find the difference in the y values. Do you remember this formula? The y2 minus y1 of x2 minus x1? Yes? So we're looking at our coordinates. If it helps, label x1, y1, x2, y2. And remember, at least one person did switch them around. Remember, it doesn't matter which one is 1 and 2 as long as you're consistent. So we've got either 3 subtract negative 1. I'm going to go with that. Over 1 subtract negative 2. You could have done negative 1 subtract 3 over negative... No, what is it? Oh, I did. Shush now. Over negative 2 subtract 1. Okay, you could have done either of those two. So 3 subtract negative 1 is 4, and 1 subtract negative 2 is 1 subtract negative 2 is 3, or 3. Or you could have negative 3 take away 1. Oh my god, that's not what it says. Negative 1 take away 3 is negative 4. And negative 2 take away 1 is negative 3. So either way, we've got a gradient of 430. You all happy with that? So the line AB has a gradient of 4/3. That line up above had a gradient of negative 2 over 3. Are they parallel? No. You have to say why. Why are they not parallel? They don't have the same gradient. It's harsh, but you do need to make that statement. So it could be that you did that whole thing correctly, but you didn't make that statement. You would have still had it highlighted. Okay? So that's annoying. And that's where you're going to say to yourself, oh, horrible woman, she didn't give me the marks. And you would have got some marks. And for that, if you had done it, you just wouldn't get full marks. So I'm trying to encourage you to make sure you've got full marks for everything. So, no, not parallel. Since gradients are different. Or not same meet different both. Okay, here's a straight line. Find an equation for it. Okay, we should be able to do this really straightforward. Remember, the easiest format is y equals mx plus c. So all we need to do from this diagram is identify two things: the gradient and the y-intercept. The y-intercept should be super easy. Jada, what's the y-intercept? 1. So straight away I can write plus 1. My gradient's a little bit more challenging because I actually have to do a little bit of work here. And you have to choose 2 points. I'm not going to choose something like this. Why not? Yeah, it's not on one of those intersection things. I don't know what that value is. So you're going to choose any 2 points, and you're going to find what over what. Rise over run. Before we even write the answer, what do we know about our gradient? It's negative. Why then? Because it's sloping down. Yes? So even if you don't remember, is it positive, negative numbers, where they're going, you know the answer is going to be negative because you know it's sloping down. So you just need to find the rise over the run. So I'm going to choose this point here, and probably that's the easiest. So I've got 2 over 1. So I've got y equals negative 2x plus 1. That's it. Okay? Quite a few of you had y equals 2x plus 1. It's those negatives that will lose you the marks. If you don't have them. Right, number 5. You will have spotted we've tested your stuff that you had in the last test. Some of you remembered it. It was awesome. Some of you, it was, you shelved that and gone on to something else and forgotten that. So we need to try it. We're going to be testing you on stuff like this throughout. So please try and keep it in your mind. It's not going to be very many marks in the upcoming tests, but there will be some things. So you do need to try and keep on top of them. So you're solving this equation, which means you're trying to isolate x. So I need to get rid of my 7 on the bottom, so I multiply both sides by 7, and I have 8x minus 2 equals 7x. You're then going to subtract 7x from both sides, so you get x minus 2 equals 0, so x is 2. Anything else? Next one, factorising. It's a quadratic. So I know that I'm going to have how many brackets? 2. What's special about my brackets? I've got y at the front of both of them. What numbers go at the end, or how do I decide which numbers go at the end? Good. So which two numbers multiply to give negative 24 and add to give negative 2? Negative 6 and what's in it? 15. Doesn't matter which order the brackets are written, as long as your signs are correct with those numbers. So 3 over k plus 3 equals 6. We're solving. We're trying to find x. Okay, even. I don't know where that e came from. I apologise if it's being confusing. So what do we do first? Multiply by k plus 3 on both sides, yes? So we get 3 equals 6, k plus 3. Expand our bracket. Subtract 18 from both sides. Oh my god, what's that? And then divide both sides by 6. So it's negative 15 over 6. Oh, that's not a simple go. What does that become? Okay, those of you that left it as negative 15 over 6, I may have highlighted your question still, I can't remember, because you do need to make sure you are simplifying fractions as much as possible. Okay, don't leave them as negative 15 over 6. You would get it marked well when you find the exam.
Number 2.
Oh, God bless your heart. Thank you. Okay. Simplify fully. Why is it saying simplify fully? What should we have to do here? What do you think they want us to do to make it simpler? Common denominator. Okay, so we're going to join these two together, yes? So we know that they are fractions. So in order to have a fraction subtract another fraction, as Emma said, we need a common denominator. So what's our common denominator going to be? Yeah, a combination of these two denominators. You all happy with that? Okay, because there is nothing else common. We know that this is an x plus 4, it's an x minus 4, so we're just going to make our common denominator the combination of the two. So what did I have to do to this fraction? I had to multiply by x minus 4. So I have to do the same to the top. So on my numerator, what do I get?
5 bracket x minus 4.
Oh yes, I'm going to expand it. Subtract 20, yes. And then what do I have to do to this bad boy? I have to do multiply by x plus 4. So I'm going to have
4x plus 16.
Now, this is where some people made mistakes. It's where mistakes were made in previous tests as well. You have to remember that you are subtracting both of these two things. Okay, so be really, really careful when it comes to signs. So we can now join our denominator. We can now join them as a single fraction. So we're going to combine our numerators. So we've got 5x subtract 4x, which is, and then negative 20 subtract 16.
Oh, you wrote it. Oh,
Okay? Any questions on that? You could have expanded the bottom to have x squared minus 16 if you wished. You didn't have to. Simplify fully. What's the rules when we ask to find this baby here? Better? Remember? Okay, can I just say, I think I said it in a previous test, I will start hunting people down if I see this much more. Okay, people are still doing it. I want to stab you when I see that, okay? Because you are not allowed to do that. Why are you not allowed to do that? Yes, thank you. They are not multiplied by anything, so we are not allowed to do that, okay? Now, just so you, I don't know if it makes you feel better or worse, doesn't make any difference to you. I had similar situations with my Year 11 ungraded test. They are still doing it as well. So, I said I'm hunting them down too. Please, 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 please. I know it's tempting when you see something on the top or bottom, say just oh, I can cross it out. If it's not multiplying by something, then you cannot do it. So what process do we have to use before we can simplify this? Ready? We're going to factorize. Good. Okay? Because factorizing tells us our brackets are being multiplied by each other. Okay? That's the key word there, multiplying. So, what do we do with the top line? Laura?
The top one, so you make two brackets, and then you put x in one, and then x in the other. And then because there's no x, you know that it's the special type, so there is no, you don't have to worry about them adding and different. Yeah, anyway. So it's what multiplies to make -9, so it'll be plus 3 minus 3.
Good. So remember the name of this, baby? Difference of 2 squared. Awesome. Okay, so we've got x plus 3, x minus 3. That was the easier one. Some people give them, I guess. Bottom one, hopefully recognize that's also a quadratic. How do we decide what goes in our things here, Layla? Awesome. Nice. And then, Miss Hanya, what do I do now?
You cancel out the x plus 3
Why do we have to do that?
because they're multiple.
They're being multiplied by something and they're on the top and bottom, yes. And so my final answer is just what's left. Doesn't have to go in a bracket, it can if you want. Okay?
Going through